Is this the beginning of the end for Panasonic? Panasonic Holdings revealed that it expects to fail to achieve 2 of 3 targets set in their 3-year midterm strategy, ending in fiscal 2024. President Yuki Kusumi acknowledged that the situation is critical, as we are not meeting expectations. Okay, critical because they're not meeting expectations. Is this just financial talk for, yeah, we need to get back on track, we had a bad quarter? No, it isn't. Because the company announced that it's about to take drastic measures to eliminate challenging businesses with poor growth potential by fiscal 2026, with consideration given to business transfers and withdrawals. While he did not reveal specific names of challenging businesses, he did cite home appliances, televisions, and some air conditioning businesses as examples of challenging businesses. And while Panasonic's camera businesses weren't called out specifically, they have been rather slow to release new models, releasing the S5 Mark II and 2X last January with a new phase detect autofocus system, and then nothing. Nothing up until recently with this, well, low-budget camera, the S9, which we're going to get to in a moment. No S1, S1R, or S1H successor, indicating that Panasonic is having trouble getting out to market with refreshes of cameras that were delivered over 5 years ago. A worrying trend. And, well, as you're about to see, it's causing Panasonic, this lack of resources is causing Panasonic to make some questionable decisions. According to Photo Rumors, Panasonic is now being accused of using stock photos in their latest Lumix S9 camera campaign. At first, I hoped this was just a rumor, because if you're using your competitors' products, work product, images, photos, without citations to sell your own cameras, that's not a good sign. It's not a good look at all. And unfortunately, I found evidence to prove that it's not a rumor and it's fact. Take a close look at this dog on Panasonic's webpage about the recently announced Lumix S9. It's showing off animal eye detection. You'd expect it to showcase what the camera could do. But it's from a stock photo on Shutterstock. Were they in a pinch for time? Did they not have the resources to use their own gear? It's not just a one-off example. On another page, also showing off the Panasonic S9, again showing off animal eye recognition, we see a beautiful example, a great shot of a pair of birds. Sadly, this wasn't taken by the S9 either, but by a Nikon camera, by a Nikon ambassador. Nikon Rumors was able to confirm that this issue has only been confirmed for Lumix Japan, but it's possible that similar products, similar promotions, are being conducted in other countries. So Panasonic's obviously in trouble here. You've heard it from the top that they're cutting corners. They're looking at divesting certain businesses in order to right-track the company. They really are in a dire situation here. And when it comes to the camera business, we haven't seen a whole lot of shock and awe from Panasonic's Lumix division. Sure, we had the S5 Mark II and 2X last year, showcasing a new phase detect autofocus system. But since then, it's been too quiet, and the camera they choose to announce this year with some fanfare is the Lumix S9. And to do that, they used their competitor's work product. And they didn't just take stuff from Shutterstock, which, okay, in a pinch, yeah, that doesn't look good. But when you actually take photos from your competitor's camera, from an actual Nikon ambassador, you've got to know you're going to be found out. It's like they don't even care. This is a bad sign. But more worrying, this is coming from a country, Japan, where honor is everything. Where you get a note if your train is 1 minute late. They give you a note you can take to your business to say, we're sorry, the train was late. It's not his fault or her fault. This is the Japanese websites, in Japanese, to actually take your competitor's work product, pass it off as your own to showcase your own capabilities, it's dishonorable. And it's shocking. It's not just one photo, it's multiple photos, and we don't know how far this goes. But it's a worrying sign for the company, because if they can't take their own cameras to go out and shoot the shots, if they can't get their own ambassadors to take the shots, I don't believe it's because the cameras aren't capable. It might take you a few shots if the autofocus doesn't hit. But I've used 11-year-old cameras like the 70D I've got back here, and it can take great shots. Doesn't do it all the time, but it can do it. No, this is a lack of resources. This is a lack of caring, a lack of honor. And I know what you're thinking. Others have been caught doing similar things. Take a look at this video, for example, of the recently announced and shipped Canon RF 100 to 300 millimeter. Take a look right here. Yeah, that's correct. That's a Sony camera. Somebody screwed up. Canon quickly pulled this and removed that and then re-released the video. But in this video, it's just filler of someone carrying around a Sony camera. They're not using work products of a Sony camera to sell their own capabilities. Now, what Panasonic's done here with the S9 is clearly a error in judgment. And the problems with errors in judgment is they're very hard to fix. It's not like an error in omission where, oh, I forgot to do something, let's correct that, and you can forgive that and move on. It's a sign of dishonor in a country where honor is very important. It's passing off somebody else's, this goes back to plagiarism. You're literally copying somebody else's work product and saying, look how great my work is, but it's not your work. It might seem like I'm repeating a little bit, but I really want to draw this point home. To be able to make errors like this in a society where honor is everything, where at the end of the day, you're known for the work that you do. To be able to copy somebody else's work product, pass it off as your own, I think is a sign of an organization that is really strapped for resources. They're trying to do the best they can to release really great products. And Panasonic has some really great products, and they just finally, after years, replaced their contrast detect depth from DFD autofocus system. I can't even say it properly anymore, with a new face detect autofocus system. Yet they're delayed in getting cameras out. It's been over 5 years, 5.5 years since we had the S1 and the S1R, and almost 5 years since the S1H Mark II. And to release a camera, the S9, with your competitor's work product, it lets me know that there's some severe resourcing problems. And if you think it's not a problem with resourcing, well, the financials, they've already told you there's a problem with resourcing. So that means the company doesn't have enough money to do what they need to do. And if you're still saying you don't believe that's the case, then that makes this all the worse, because they just don't care. They're actually lifting images from Nikon ambassadors, from people are very familiar with the work product. It's easy to spot. It's easy to spot for us humans, let alone AI systems that are combing the internet looking for plagiarism. I don't think this is the end of the story, and I really do hope that Panasonic isn't about ready to divest or kill off their Lumix camera division, because Panasonic for years has been producing really, really stunning cameras. Yes, they were stubborn with that contrast detect depth from defocus autofocus system for so many years, but they've moved past that now. We're ready for brighter times. But to be able to sell great cameras, they need to be able to release great cameras. And here in 2024, with Canon getting ready to release the R5 Mark II, the Canon EOS R1, with Sony having released the A9 Mark III, and Nikon getting ready to release the Nikon Z6 Mark III, the Z7 Mark III, with the Nikon Z8 and Z9 being really impressive cameras, the Z8 alone can do what the S1 and the S1R can do together. I don't know. What do you think? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. This is a troubling story. I was hoping to put out a more uplifting story today, but this is not a good look. This is not a good sign. And normally at this point, I would take this as an opportunity to show off deals of the week. But I'm not going to do that. This story is really affecting me. It's not... When I first saw the story about the the images being used from other sources such as Shutterstock and a Nikon Ambassador, that was one thing. But when I dug a little deeper and saw the financial troubles and how they're saying that this is critical, that they're looking at divesting other businesses, and then I'm seeing this and I'm putting one on one together, it's not a good sign. And hopefully we get some great camera announcements. The S1, S1R, a successor to those two cameras, and a successor to the S1H. Hopefully we get that really soon. But we're at the end of May, and normally, traditionally, the first camera season is somewhere between January and the end of May, and then it starts up again in the middle of September and goes to the end of October. So, I don't know, I'm feeling a little bit down here, but let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you want to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest concerning this story, you might want to subscribe to this channel and choose all notifications. But with YouTube's algorithm, just watching this video alone will probably have them recommending my videos for you en masse for the next 2 to 4 weeks, even if you don't care about cameras. And I'm sorry about that. It's just how it works. And also, if you want to follow me on X, quite often I tweet out other stories that aren't quite big enough to have their own separate video there. And that way you get to stay up to date on all the latest and greatest stories. Sorry, I'm a little bit down by this. This is kind of... I was expecting some really great Panasonic announcements, and to see this here, it's really kind of sucked the air out of the room. In the comments down below, let me know what Panasonic camera you own, if you do own one, and how this makes you feel and what you think is next. But that's it for now. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have yourself a great day, a great week, and we'll see you again soon.